What if the single most powerful low-risk step you could take for arthritis relief starts with the protein on your plate? Here is what the research shows. Inflammation, the process that underlies most forms of arthritis, is not just a joint problem. Cytokines like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor are chemical signals that sensitize peripheral nerves, remodel joint tissue, and even change how your brain processes pain. What is happening in your brain when this occurs is a shift toward heightened threat detection. Pain circuits become easier to trigger, attention narrows to threat, sleep fragments, and mood follows. That's why controlling inflammation isn't just about less stiffness. It's about better sleep, clearer focus, and improved emotional resilience. We will focus on a simple, high-leverage lever, plant-based proteins. Unlike a pill, food changes the inflammatory environment systemically through gut microbiome metabolites, antioxidant payloads, and shifts in cellular signaling pathways, for example, pathways that blunt NF-κB activation and reduce oxidative stress. Multiple clinical and observational studies repeatedly show that diets emphasizing plant proteins, legumes, nuts, seeds, certain whole grains, are associated with lower C-reactive protein and fewer flares in inflammatory conditions. Importantly, plant proteins also bring fiber and phytonutrients that rewire your microbiome to produce anti-inflammatory short-chain fatty acids. A simple tool to apply is this. Replace one animal-based protein meal a day with a plant-based protein that pairs with colorful vegetables and an omega-3 source. That single habit shifts your metabolic signals, reduces dietary arachidonic acid load, and supplies micronutrients that support tissue repair. Now I will unpack 6 science-backed concepts, each one a practical lever, and then deep dive into the top 3 plant proteins that research and physiology suggest are most effective for soothing pain and reducing inflammation. Expect protocols you can try this week, specific portions, timing, and combinations that maximize absorption and anti-inflammatory effects. Most people think of arthritis as a simple wear and tear problem, like the hinges on a door that have just been used too long. But science shows that the real driver of most arthritis pain is chronic low-grade inflammation. This is where protein quality comes into the picture. Here is what the research shows. High intake of certain animal proteins, especially those rich in arachidonic acid, is linked to higher levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha. These molecules circulate in your bloodstream and amplify the activity of enzymes that break down cartilage, such as matrix metalloproteinases. In plain language, the wrong proteins can actually accelerate the damage inside your joints. Plant-based proteins, on the other hand, deliver amino acids without the same inflammatory baggage. Studies from journals like Arthritis Care and Research have found that people who replace even one serving of red meat daily with legumes or nuts see a measurable drop in C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker. What is happening in your body when you make this switch is fascinating. Your gut microbiome shifts toward species that produce butyrate and propionate, short-chain fatty acids that tell immune cells to stand down, reducing unnecessary inflammation. At the same time, your liver sees a drop in inflammatory signaling, and your brain's microglia, its immune cells, get quieter, which can improve not just pain, but also mental clarity. A simple tool to apply here is to start with one meal swap per day. If you normally have eggs and bacon for breakfast, try a warm lentil and spinach bowl topped with pumpkin seeds and olive oil. If you usually have chicken for lunch, try a quinoa salad with chickpeas and colorful vegetables. The goal is not necessarily to go fully vegan, but to strategically lower the inflammatory load while increasing fiber and phytonutrients. Have you noticed that some days your joints feel worse after a heavy meal? That may not be your imagination. Post-meal inflammation is real, and swapping to lower inflammatory proteins can help smooth that curve. Now, we will zoom in on the gut-joint connection, why what happens in your intestines might be the most powerful lever for reducing arthritis pain long-term. Have you ever noticed how some days your joints ache more after a big meal or after a weekend of eating differently? This is not just coincidence. What is happening in your gut can directly turn the volume up or down on arthritis pain. Here is what the research shows. Over 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Specialized immune cells in the intestinal lining constantly listen to signals from food, bacteria, and metabolites. When the gut microbiome is diverse and balanced, it produces compounds like butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that literally tells immune cells to calm down. This helps regulate NF-κB, one of the master switches of inflammation. But when the gut microbiome is disrupted, for instance, by a low-fiber, high-saturated fat diet, those calming signals drop, and pro-inflammatory compounds leak into circulation. One landmark study published in Nature Medicine found that people with rheumatoid arthritis had a distinct imbalance in their gut bacteria, with fewer anti-inflammatory species and more bacteria linked to endotoxin production. The exciting part is this. When participants shifted to a diet higher in legumes, vegetables and plant-based proteins, their microbiome composition changed within just 2 to 3 weeks, and markers of systemic inflammation dropped. What is happening in your brain when this occurs is also important. Lower inflammation in the gut means less activation of the vagus nerve stress pathways, which improves parasympathetic tone, helping you feel calmer and sleep more deeply. A simple, science-backed tool you can use is to combine plant proteins with prebiotic fibers. For example, try a chickpea and quinoa salad with garlic, onion, and a squeeze of lemon. The chickpeas provide protein, while the garlic and onion feed gut bacteria that produce those anti-inflammatory short-chain fatty acids. This is also why consistency matters. The microbiome responds to what you eat most days, not just one perfect meal here and there. Think of every meal as a vote for the kind of immune system you want. If this insight is helping you see arthritis relief in a new light, consider subscribing. There's more where this came from, and we dive deep every week into science-backed tools to take control of your mind and body. Now, we will explore top plant protein number 1, lentils, the anti-inflammatory powerhouse, and I'll show you why this humble food has been clinically linked to lower pain and better mobility. Lentils may be one of the most underrated foods for arthritis relief. They've been a dietary staple for thousands of years, but modern science is finally catching up to why they are so powerful for joint health. Here is what the research shows. Lentils are rich in plant-based protein, soluble fiber, and bioactive compounds like polyphenols. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that diets high in legumes, including lentils, significantly lowered markers of inflammation such as C-reactive protein and IL-6 compared to diets heavy in red meat. Lentils also contain specific amino acids like arginine and glutamic acid that support tissue repair and immune regulation. What is happening in your body when you eat lentils is a cascade of positive effects. First, their fiber slows glucose absorption, preventing the blood sugar spikes that can drive inflammatory signaling. Second, their polyphenols act as antioxidants, scavenging free radicals that would otherwise damage joint tissue. And third, they help feed gut bacteria that produce anti-inflammatory metabolites like butyrate, further reducing immune overactivation. Here's a simple analogy. Think of inflammation like a campfire. Pain, swelling, and stiffness are the flames. Lentils act like both water and a fire blanket. They dampen the fuel through blood sugar control, smother the flames, by reducing cytokine release, and make it harder for new sparks to catch by strengthening gut immune communication. A practical tool you can try this week: make a large batch of lentil stew or curry and eat a cup a day for 5 days. Lentils are highly versatile. You can pair them with turmeric, which has its own anti-inflammatory benefits, spinach for extra magnesium, and olive oil for healthy fats. Even better, they are inexpensive and cook quickly, making them an easy swap for more inflammatory protein sources. Have you noticed how your energy feels more stable after a plant-based meal? That's not just in your head. By preventing blood sugar spikes, lentils help reduce the fatigue that often comes with arthritis flares. Now, we will move to top plant protein number 2, quinoa, complete protein plus magnesium boost, and explore why this seed is so much more than just a trendy side dish. Quinoa has been called a superfood so many times it almost sounds like marketing hype. But when it comes to arthritis relief, the science truly lives up to the name. Here is what the research shows. Quinoa is one of the few plant foods that contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. This is crucial because your body uses those amino acids not just to build muscle, but also to repair cartilage, ligaments, and the collagen matrix that supports joint integrity. In addition, quinoa is rich in magnesium, a mineral that plays a direct role in controlling muscle tension and regulating inflammatory cytokines. Studies in magnesium. Research journals have shown that higher magnesium intake is associated with lower CRP levels and reduced risk of chronic inflammation. What is happening in your body when you eat quinoa is a twofold benefit. First, you're giving your cells the building blocks they need to maintain healthy joint tissue, and second, you're supplying a natural relaxation mineral that helps calm the nervous system and improve blood flow to the joints. Imagine your joints as a busy construction site. Quinoa is like delivering both high-quality bricks, amino acids, and the skilled workers, magnesium, needed to get the job done smoothly. A simple tool to apply is to swap out refined carbs, like white rice or pasta, with quinoa 2 or 3 times per week. For maximum anti-inflammatory benefit, pair it with vitamin C-rich vegetables like bell peppers or tomatoes, which help your body synthesize collagen more efficiently. Quinoa is also a great option if you're looking to maintain a healthy weight, which is one of the biggest levers for reducing arthritis pain. Its high protein and fiber content promote satiety and help regulate appetite hormones like ghrelin and leptin. If you're finding these science-backed strategies helpful, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. This community is all about turning cutting-edge research into practical tools you can use to feel and perform at your best, and you'll be the first to know when we share new insights. Now, we will turn to top plant protein number 3, hemp seeds, the omega-3 and GLA advantage, and I think you'll be surprised by how much these tiny seeds can do for joint stiffness and morning pain. Hemp seeds might just be the quiet hero of plant-based proteins when it comes to arthritis relief. They're small, mild-tasting, and easy to sprinkle on almost anything, but their nutrient profile is anything but small. Here is what the research shows. Hemp seeds are one of the rare plant foods that naturally contain gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, an omega-6 fatty acid that actually reduces inflammation. That might sound counterintuitive, since we often hear that omega-6 fats are pro-inflammatory, but GLA is the exception. Studies in journals like Arthritis and Rheumatism have found that GLA supplementation can significantly reduce morning stiffness and joint pain in people with rheumatoid arthritis. Hemp seeds also offer an optimal ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids, which is critical because most modern diets are heavily skewed toward pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats. By restoring that balance, you help regulate eicosanoid production, the hormone-like compounds that control inflammation and pain signaling. What is happening in your body when you eat hemp seeds is a subtle but powerful shift. Your cell membranes incorporate these beneficial fatty acids, which makes them less likely to produce inflammatory prostaglandins and leukotrienes. Over time, this literally changes how your immune system behaves. A simple tool to apply here is to aim for about 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds per day. You can sprinkle them on salads, blend them into smoothies, or stir them into oatmeal. To boost the anti-inflammatory effect even more, pair them with vitamin E-rich foods like sunflower seeds or spinach, since vitamin E helps protect those delicate fats from oxidation. Think of hemp seeds like upgrading the oil in your car engine. The right oil keeps everything running smoothly, reduces friction, and prevents damage over time. Have you noticed that your joints feel particularly stiff in the morning? Try adding hemp seeds consistently for 2 to 3 weeks and pay attention to how your morning mobility changes. Research suggests that's where people often notice the biggest difference. Now, we will bring it all together with synergy and timing, how to combine plant proteins for maximum relief, so you can create a daily strategy that keeps inflammation down and energy steady. By now, you have seen how each of these plant proteins, lentils, quinoa, and hemp seeds, has its own unique anti-inflammatory benefits. But here is where it gets really exciting. When you combine them strategically, their effects are amplified. Here is what the research shows. Eating a diverse array of plant proteins throughout the day gives you a more complete amino acid profile, supports a healthier gut microbiome, and smooths out blood sugar fluctuations that can drive inflammation. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who consumed a variety of legumes, seeds, and whole grains not only met their protein needs but also saw significantly lower CRP levels than those who relied on a single plant protein source. What is happening in your body when you combine these foods is a kind of metabolic symphony. For example, pairing quinoa with lentils creates a full spectrum of essential amino acids, lysine from quinoa and methionine from lentils, which helps your body repair cartilage and connective tissue more effectively. Adding hemp seeds to the mix provides anti-inflammatory fats that help transport fat-soluble antioxidants into your cells. Here's a simple framework you can try. Breakfast: overnight oats with hemp seeds, chia seeds and berries. Lunch: quinoa salad with chickpeas, arugula and olive oil. Dinner: lentil stew with turmeric, garlic and leafy greens. Spacing these proteins across your day helps keep amino acid levels steady in your bloodstream, supporting muscle repair and reducing inflammatory flare-ups. If you exercise, aim to have one of these meals within 2 hours after activity to maximize joint recovery. A useful tool is to think in terms of protein frequency rather than just total protein amount. Smaller, evenly spaced doses of plant protein, say 15 to 20 grams per meal, are more effective at supporting tissue repair and immune balance than one large dose late in the day. And here's a bonus tip. Pair plant proteins with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, citrus or tomatoes. Vitamin C is a cofactor in collagen synthesis, meaning it literally helps your body build stronger joint tissue. By combining these strategies, you're not just eating for today's pain relief, you're actively training your immune system to stay balanced and building stronger, more resilient joints over time. Now we will pull all of this together in a powerful conclusion, summarizing the science, giving you a clear next step, and inviting you to take action with your diet starting today. Let's bring everything together. Over the past few minutes, we have looked at why arthritis pain is not just a mechanical issue, but an inflammatory one, and how the proteins you eat can either fan the flames or help put the fire out. Here is what the research shows. Chronic inflammation drives joint damage by activating cytokines and enzymes that break down cartilage. Plant-based proteins, unlike many animal sources, lower key inflammation markers like CRP and IL-6. Lentils help regulate blood sugar, feed beneficial gut bacteria, and deliver amino acids that support tissue repair. Quinoa provides complete protein and magnesium to relax muscles and calm inflammatory pathways. Hemp seeds offer omega-3s and GLA, changing the very composition of your cell membranes to make them less reactive to inflammatory signals. And when you combine these foods strategically, you create a steady, anti-inflammatory environment that supports joint health, improves energy, and sharpens mental clarity. What is happening in your brain and body when you make these changes is profound. Your gut microbiome becomes a partner in healing rather than a source of inflammatory triggers. Your nervous system becomes calmer, and your pain circuits stop firing so easily. This is why many people not only feel less joint pain, but also report better sleep, better focus, and better mood. Here is my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, pick just one meal per day and make it plant protein focused. It could be a warm lentil stew, a quinoa salad, or a smoothie with hemp seeds and berries. Track how you feel, not just your pain levels, but your energy, your sleep, even your mental clarity. Science suggests you may notice a difference within weeks, sometimes even days. This is not about perfection or going fully plant-based overnight. It is about making small strategic swaps that create a healthier inflammatory environment over time. Every meal is a chance to cast a vote for less pain, more energy, and stronger joints. If this video helped you see arthritis relief in a new way, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share which plant protein you're excited to try first. And if you want more science-backed strategies to optimize your mind and body, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Together, we're building a community that uses cutting-edge science to create better health, one practical tool at a time. You have more influence over your pain and your future health than you think, and it starts with what's on your plate today.